Morning. It's morning, right? It's morning.
It's
yes.
still morning. Well, this is something I'm really excited about because, as many of you know, Hugh Jackman was involved with Global Citizen since day zero and was truly one of the first people to ever embrace the mission of building an unstoppable movement, even before there was anyone involved. In fact, some of the first events happened in Hugh's living room before Global Citizen existed, and his passion to see the eradication of extreme poverty goes to the heart of who he is. And he's hosted the Global Citizen Festival in New York more than 6 times now and has supported countless campaigns and initiatives dating back to when we first launched our first ideas called Live Below the Line, and helping us launch Power Our Planet campaign last year that led to breakthrough policy changes. You can see some footage up here of Hugh on stage. He's a truly great advocate. Yeah, that was a moment. Yes.
I still have a bad back from that.
Oh my goodness. And he's also a great friend. So firstly, Hugh, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. And by the way, when Hugh says day zero, what he means is the day he was born, because he's that young, right? No.
I don't know how to react to that.
I'm kidding.
And so we tried something new this year, which I'm really happy, because we asked people online to submit questions from all around the world, and I thought we'd get a few questions. Our entire page blew up. We got hundreds of questions from all over the world. Everyone sent, Hugh's fans sending questions from all around the world. And so today, in this panel, I'm going to allow most of the questions to come exactly from people who submitted their questions online, and I want to give them a chance to speak. So my first question today is coming. I'm going to share that with you. I've got it right here with me. It's from Nikki115.
I think, historically, and to be there with world leaders and 60,000 people in Central Park in New York City, that was an unforgettable moment. But also, I go back, Nikki115, to dinner at our place when you first came to New York, and we had, I don't know how many people were there, maybe 30?
That's right.
Around 30 people, and Hugh, a very nervous Hugh, in the afternoon rehearsing. Sorry to out you like that.
I was nervous.
Yeah, fair enough. You were 13 years old, so it was... But, you know, there were a lot of heavy hitters in the room, and to watch their faces go, oh, this is the future, this is a real movement, that's another great moment.
Thanks, brother. Well, the next question we have is from Anna Burke, who is keen to know, how can I personally make a difference on a daily basis? What changes can I make to empower more people in my country to make an impact?
Anna, this is what I love about Global Citizen. Anybody can make an impact. It doesn't matter how old you are, where you are in the world, what country you live in, how much money you have, or even how much time you have. Just get the Global Citizen app, get the GC app, and on there it makes it so easy to take action. I think all of us can get a little daunted of where do I start, what do I do? Some of the actions can take a minute, some take 20 seconds, some might take a few hours, some might mean going for a day somewhere. It doesn't matter. Whatever you connect to, whatever issue you're connected to, it's possible. And I would say just go to the app. So whatever country you're in, but Anna from, is it Ireland?
She's from Ireland, yes.
Ireland. Oh, I love Ireland. Oh, thanks, Anna. So yeah, Ireland. That's the best way to get started.
So, and in fact, the next question is also from Ireland, from Suzanne.
Did you really take questions from all over the world? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering
Ireland,
here.
you're
I
coming
love
in hot.
Ireland and all, but...
Okay, so Suzanne O'Connor said, has being a global citizen changed the way you see the world now?
Sure. Thanks, Susanna. I've always been passionate about it. I was brought up in a family where not just giving back, but finding a way to leave the planet a better place was part of the ethos. My father worked, and even after he retired, did a lot of volunteer work in developing countries and spent a lot of his career in developing countries. And so, you know, we were brought up in that environment. So I always had a passion for it. I found it particularly in eradicating extreme poverty, but it can be daunting. I think when I met Hugh and when this movement came into being, what it made me realize is there is hope, there is possibility. And in fact, the statistics bear that out. Things are getting a lot better in so many areas. But what I loved about it wasn't just one area, health or, you know, access to finance. It was a total sort of look at it and looking at all the different spokes that need to be handled together. And that's what, for me, Global Citizen made possible, made easy. And this idea that we don't necessarily have to go to 6 million charity fundraisers. We have to create a movement of people that will hold businesses and government leaders accountable. And then that's where I felt the hope, and that's where I feel the future and the vision, I think, of Global Citizen changed my opinion of how I see the world.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. You're a good man. Jade Hardiker wanted to know, during your time as a Global Citizen Ambassador, what project have you been part of that touched your heart the most? And are there any future projects that you're excited about working on with Global Citizen?
Jay, well, I presume it's from Ireland because you didn't say anything. But
this one's not from Ireland. But
you know, I'll give you a really great example, actually, that really touched my heart. Because this time last year, we had a similar conference. And we announced the Power Our Planet program. And here we are 12 months later. That particular program is actually in operation now. And so billions of dollars for countries. It's maybe 42 countries are eligible for this, for debt or pausing debt repayments, has been instigated. And this was mentioned, brought forward 12 months ago. It was ratified in front of the Eiffel Tower. What date was that?
That's right. Actually, around June last year.
Around June last year. Yeah. And here we are now where it's actually happening, and billions of dollars for countries that cannot afford those billions of dollars have been saved. And I just love that. In 12 months, with action from this movement, billions of dollars have been saved. So that really, I think, proves the power of the movement, and it really did touch my heart. And I hope it does for everybody here, because many of you were involved with that. And I'm always excited about the festival. I'm going to be there September 28th. September 28th. So get your tickets, Ireland. September 28th. Come to Central Park. Do your actions now. Earn your ticket now.
So you're breaking the news that you're hosting this year's festival?
I'm hosting this year's festival.
Well, I can tell you it's going to be an amazing lineup that you're hosting.
But I'm standing on top of Stephen Colbert's shoulders this year.
Role reversal.
There's a certain age where it's anyway, no, I'm not going to go there.
We'll ask Stephen. Okay, and then, well, this has been great. And the final question we have, which is not from Ireland, it's a gentleman by the name of Nick, all the way from Sydney. He wanted to know how you and I first met. Do you want to take this one?
I'll take this one. It's an embarrassing story for me because
And for me.
It's embarrassing for you too, but so thanks for bringing it up, Nick. I like to think of myself as a fairly down-to-earth kind of guy, but this story doesn't bear that out at all, because we were at a conference that was hosted by our Prime Minister. It was 2008, I think, the conference, and it was called 2020. What will Australia look like in 2020? So 1,000 people from all parts of Australia were brought together, and on the first night there was a cocktail party. 1,000 people, right? Parliament House, we're down there, and right by the bar was a guy wearing black pants and a white shirt, standing right next to the bar. And I was talking, I kind of did one of those like that, and he goes like that, and I said, like, I'd love a drink kind of thing. And he waved back, and I was like, yeah, Hugh, as in this Hugh, don't be that guy. So I walked over, and as I walked over, he shook my hand. I was like, oh, wow, we're all this is great. Yeah, everybody. He said, Hugh, oh, my name's Hugh too. And I'm like, a bit of small talk, but I'd really just love a drink. And of course, I found out he had been Young Australian of the Year and was like best friends with our Prime Minister. And why were you at the bar? Just doing shots at the bar?
I have no
probably.
idea.
So I then chatted with Hugh. I ignored everybody else for about 2 hours, and that for me was the highlight, because I was like, oh, forget what Australia looks like 2020. Here's someone who's going to change the world by 2020, which he has. So yeah, that's the ending of the story. You going red?
It's hilarious.
Was I ruder than it? Was I rude?
No, yeah, it was. No, I've got it.
I've never seen you speechless before.
That was, oh, sorry. There's what, the way you just said it then, it was exactly right. So I have one final question for you myself, because when I was getting started, you provided enormous encouragement for me in my journey. And frankly, I never forget those that are there with you in the early stages, because I think the early stages, I always use the analogy, it's like eating glass. It's, as an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur trying to get something off the ground, it's terribly hard. And I know that there are so many people here today and so many people who are watching online who have their own dreams to change the world, right? And they have this passion, but they sometimes need that encouragement. What words of encouragement or advice or counsel would you give to those that are just getting started?
Sleep on people's couches like you slept on mine. Be prepared, I guess, to tell your story 1,000,000 times. Because it might only be one person who goes, hang on, that's a great story. By the way, I say this to actors too. You might have to audition 1,000,000 times. Believe in yourself. Believe in your vision. Your youth or inexperience is also a great weapon, because you're full of hope and possibility and enthusiasm, and you don't necessarily see obstacles that others who've been there might see. And someone, and I was not the only one, by the way, there were many people, will hear something in what you're saying. It may not be fully formed, it may not be fully polished out, it may not be perfect, but if there is something within that is essentially true and powerful, people will pick it up. So keep telling your story at a bus stop, at a cocktail party, wherever it is. If you believe in it, it will land. Just sow the seed. Eventually someone will water it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hugh Jackman.